Basilica Menor del Santo Niño. This church, convent of Santo Niño, is one of the historical sites here in Cebu City. The church and convent erected by the Augustinian fathers under the Reverend Andres Ordaneta in 1565 were the first established on November 1, 1566. The second church in 1628 but rebuilt soon after 1625 and 1629. Under the administration of historian Reverend Juan Medina, OSA, the present massive church was designed and constructed during the priorship of Reverend Juan Albaran on the year 1735 and 1737. The Santo Niño venerated in this church since the time of Legazpi. It is the center of intense devotion and religious pilgrimage throughout the Visayas. Magellan's Cross. This spot has been set aside from the time immemorable to commemorate the erection of the cross in Cebu City by the expedition of Magellan, when King Humabon of Cebu and his queen Bulacna, son and daughters, together with some 800 of their subjects, were baptized by Father Pedro Valderrama. This hallowed was improved in 1735 by Reverend Juan Albaran, friar of San Agustin, and in 1834 by Reverend Santos Gomez Maranon, Bishop of Cebu. The image of the Santo Niño found by the expedition of Legazpi in a house near the present site of Cathedral site of Cebu, which is venerated by the faithful in the nearby church of San Agustin. Cebu Metropolitan Cathedral Museum. The Cathedral Museum is being known as Bahay na Bato and is also along the road nearby Cebu Metropolitan Cathedral. It was built in 19th century during the incumbency of Cebu Bishop Santos Maranon. This museum holds many religious treasures within the Archdiocese of Cebu. Some of the museum's exhibits are the galleries way back then. These are photographs and illustrations depicting Plaza Independencia. It was called Plaza de Armas in the early 1600s. Plaza Independencia is located nearby the Fort San Pedro. The place is popular hangout for many people around the area. Plaza Independencia is surrounded by acacia trees, ornamental flowers, and plants. It is actually called the heart of historical sites of Cebu City because of its wide and improved area and the fresh air beneath the area. Fort San Pedro. It is the oldest and smallest triangular bastion fort in Cebu City. It was being built in the year 1738 by using mud and logs. Fort San Pedro serves as a stronghold into which people could go for shelter during a battle. Miguel Lopez de Legazpi was the said responsible for the beginning of the negotiations of the establishments of the fort on the year 1565. The name of the fort was derived from Legazpi's ship, named San Pedro. Parian Monument. It was being well known as Heritage of Cebu Monument, located downtown in historic Parian district in Cebu City. Parian Monument was made of cement, iron, steel that come together to form a towering heritage. It conceptualizes and depicts events in Cebu history from the time of Braho Mabon to the beatification of Cebuano martyr Pedro Calungsod. Yap San Diego House, an ancestral house that is one of the oldest houses in the Philippines. It was built during the late 17th century by the Chinese merchant residing in Parian. It was the house of Maria Bleutorio and Consolacion Yap. The elder daughter Maria Yap later married to Don Mariano San Diego, a cabeza de barangay of Parian in the late 1880s. And at present, this ancestral house is in the custody of Mr. and Mrs. Val San Diego. Casa Gordo. The house was built in the mid-19th century by Alejandro Reyes Rosales and bought by Juan Isidro de Gordo, a Spanish merchant, in 1863. 4 generations of Gordo, first Filipino bishop of Cebu on 1910 to 1932, acquired in 1980 by the Ramon Aboitiz Foundation Incorporated. It was restored and later opened. Museo Sugbo. The building is made of corals according to design of Domingo Escondrilas for the purpose of a jail for the district of the Visayas. And in 1870, it's been called as Cebu Provincial Jail. In American regime, additional buildings had been built in front of Cebu City Jail in the year 1946 and 1976, and converted into Cebu Provincial Detention and Rehabilitation Center from 1976 until it's been transferred to a wider place in Barangay Calonasan in Cebu City in the year 2004, and it has been recently named as Museo Sugbo, the Museo na Lalawigan ng Cebu.